What's up, everybody? I just finished another book by Christopher Pike. This is Bury Me Deep. So, for those of you who don't know, a few years ago, I've actually read Remember Me, another YA type book that has three or four sequels, and it was terrible. One of my least favorite books I've ever read, and I literally quit reading this. I know that I have like a little playlist on Instagram that has like songs and stuff for books that I pick, and it was like over 2 years ago, I think, for Remember Me, because I think it'll let you fit like 100 books, I think. So it's been 100 books ago, I guess. It's something like that. But yeah, haven't read a YA book, unless you count like Spooksville. And speaking of Spooksville, Spooksville's been phenomenal. Um, there hasn't been a bad book yet, and I'm on book 6, which isn't very far. There's only 24 books in the series. Still on the hunt for the final book. Is called The Witch's Gift. So if anybody out there has that, let me know. But yeah, this series Bury Me Deep. I picked this as a summertime book. I knew going in there was a girl going to Hawaii and she's on an airplane and something happens. Yeah, this one was as standard as you could probably get, but it was still okay. It wasn't a terrible book. Thank God. It was just okay. Like it wasn't bad and it wasn't great. Directly in the middle. And for a while, I know that I've read some YA books from Pike that were really good. I know I've read the one where they go skiing and like are they're like in a old house, like on a cabin or something. I can't think of the name of it. It's like Ski Weekend. I think that's Fear Street. I can't think of what it's called right off the bat, but that one, and I've read Whispers of Death, another great book, and The Midnight Club. All of those I really enjoyed. Remember Me was just a terrible book, and I just didn't want to touch them. Anyway, picked this one up, started reading it, and yeah, the raunchiness is there. Christopher Pike is very fun to take a break from reading these YA, like kids, children's horror books, and jumping into something a little bit more mature. Because this is like targeted towards like Fear Street audiences, and it has so much more than a Fear Street book has. I'm not saying it's better than an average Fear Street book, but it's pretty good. Um, yeah, the story starts off with this girl named Jean. She is going on a trip to Hawaii to meet up with some friends. They're gonna stay, I think it's like a week or something. She gets on the airplane, and this guy sits next to her. He says, "You're in my spot." So she slides over. He sits next to her, and he's like this country guy from Alabama. He says he's going scuba diving on the coast or something of Hawaii. And she wants to get to know him. She's a very lonely girl. Like she wants to like meet another guy or whatever. They talk a lot about virginity at the beginning, but yeah, she talks to him a little bit, and he starts choking, and he says, "Not this again," and he falls down. Blood comes out of his mouth, and he dies on the airplane. And yeah, this traumatizes her, which is a normal reaction. And she talks to this flight attendant, and she says he was really young, blah blah blah, whatever. They eventually get to the hotel, and they have a plan of all this fun stuff they want to do. But the two girls that she meet, there's two of her friends. One is a really good friend of hers that she's had since like she was a kid, named Mandy, and Michelle is this new girl who she doesn't really know much about, but she just kind of invited herself. Mandy tells her that, or Michelle, one of the two, tells her that they met these two guys and they want to teach them how to scuba dive. And she has these coupons where it's like she can only do certain things at a certain time, where she can get out, And scuba diving wasn't really on her list. If she does this, she can't do parasailing, whatever. So they end up meeting these two guys named Dave, and I keep forgetting the other guy's name, the main guy that we learn a lot more about, but his name's like Johnny. Yeah, even when I was doing my review and I was writing it, I was like, what is that dude's name? Like, I couldn't remember it for nothing, but yeah, Dave and Johnny, they're the two scuba instructors, and yeah, we learn a little bit about them. We learned that they actually had an old scuba partner named Ringo, I think, and he ended up dying of a mysterious circumstances. They basically said that he went underwater and came up too fast. I don't know anything about scuba diving. You won't catch me in anything above my head. So yeah. Um, he ends up dying of some. I think it's like an embolism. It's like where you go underwater and you come up really fast and like your lungs just burst. And that's what they say happened. And he ended up disappearing. They couldn't. Never, I think they said he could never find his body. Whatever. So a little while after this, Jean starts having these weird dreams. She has a dream that one night that she's in bed, she hears the water running. She gets up to go in there and look in a bathtub, and it's full of blood. And when she actually does get up, she sees a bathtub full of red liquid, but it turns out to be ketchup. I don't remember precisely what the reasoning for this was, but there was a girl that brought ketchup into the bathroom or dropped it or something. I don't know. But yeah, long story short, she basically has dreams that kind of tie into real life. She ends up having a dream about this underwater cave where this skeleton is. So she starts going swimming, and Mandy's jealous because she wants to get to know this other guy. She tells Jean to kind of lay off. She wants to get to know her. Mandy's described as kind of a bigger girl, and she's very self-conscious, very jealous, and stuff like that. But long story short, Jean ends up sneaking away, going underwater, and looking and finds something underwater. That yeah, she goes back, tells the guys, they don't believe her. And yeah, that's basically what this book is. I'm not gonna say much more because that's the plot's very thin here. But it's basic and it's kind of fun. This reminded me of like reading a Fear Street book for the first time, like reading like a specific one or something, and I was like, okay, like it had that kind of feel to it. Like it's very cozy, nostalgic, very fun. Um, yeah. With that being said, though, it's very basic. There's nothing crazy in this book. There is a twist. She ends up calling the airplane lady. The what do you call them? I don't know what they're called. They're on the airport. They hand you stuff. I can't think what they're called. She ends up calling them and wanting to talk to that girl because she kind of like you know comforted her when this guy died. And there's a big reveal. And when I read this, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's very 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 crazy. And I literally got like a little chill from this. So I was like, okay, that's pretty creepy. But yeah, I'm not gonna reveal what that is. But yeah, um, yeah, that's really where I'm gonna leave Bury Me Deep because I don't have a lot more to say about it. There is a death in here that's very sad and very gory. The gore stuff was really cool. It wasn't as sad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've read some Christopher Pike books that like made me shed a tear. This one did not at all. Like I was kind of ready to be done with this. Mostly because, and I hate to say that because it wasn't a terrible book. It was just very slow, very 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 slow. There's things that happen sprinkled throughout. It just takes a while to get there. And if you got patience for it, you got time, read it. This isn't one of the best ones. I do look forward to reading two specific books by Christopher Pike that's in the his YA books. They're standalone, and that's Die Softly and Monster. Those are the two that I have not read yet, and I've heard that they're really, really great. Especially Monster. I've heard nothing but great things about Monster. Die Softly, it just sounds really good. I have heard, I think Shadyside Library maybe mentioned that that's one of his favorites. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, Bury Me Deep. I'd probably give it like a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't think it was terrible. It wasn't a great book, but it was cozy. It was fine. Um, it's a perfect summer book. Yeah, there's not much more to say about it. So yeah, Bury Me Deep, I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Please let me know in the comments below. What did you think about Bury Me Deep? Is it your favorite Christopher Pike book? What is your favorite Christopher Pike book that isn't Spooksville? Yeah, you could talk about Spooksville too. I mean, I'm really loving them, and I really need to read another one. But yeah, God willing, I'll be doing another one of those soon. But yeah, Bury Me Deep, 3 out of 5 stars. I think that's it for me, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.